Hello, it's Marek. Welcome to another video. And I'm expecting today's video to be quite long. And that's because today I will be talking about all the issues I experienced with this car over the last 3 years of ownership. And oh my, I had to make a list to not forget some of those things. So let's crack on. Let's get into it now. So the first problem I had with this car straight after I purchased it was a whining noise coming from the front. And I thought this was problem with bearings. Luckily, it turned out to be something far more simple. It was actually tires. The tires were absolutely knackered, and yeah, unfortunately dealer refused to change them because they were still street legal. After changing the tires, the whining noise disappeared completely. I'm going to overlay the video now so you can hear what I was experiencing in a car. So luckily this was pretty easy to sort out, although I have to pay for it, which I wasn't happy with. The second problem I was experiencing pretty much straight after buying the car was really horrible rattle coming from the glove box area. Again, I'm going to overlay the video now so you can hear it yourself. As you could hear in the video, it was pretty annoying. Luckily, BMW sorted this one free of charge. Another problem I was experiencing pretty much from the day one of ownership was really bad condensation in the rear lights. Again, I had to fight with dealer to get this replaced, and they would not agree to do that at their cost. So what I proposed is that I'm going to supply set of lights which I purchased from eBay, and they basically fitted them for me as a fix to the issue, because otherwise I would probably be experiencing the same problem over and over again, because unfortunately pre-LCI lights are very well known for having that problem. Now we're moving to something a bit more serious. So a couple of months into the ownership, I decided to play with my exhaust. So I had an exhaust which I had to put on the car. So I got under the car to change the exhaust, and then I found a leaking differential. So it wasn't a horrible leak. However, you could see that there was droplet hanging from it, which meant that it is leaking. It's not just sweating, it is leaking. So the car went into BMW and they looked at the problem. Luckily they had no issues with fixing it under warranty, so that was fixed. Apparently it was the front seal of the differential which was leaking, and since then, touch wood, I can't find the wood, the problem disappeared and I had no issue with any leaks. Next, I decided to take this car to the track. So I went to Cadwell Park and had fun over there for about 2.5 hours. And after that, I realized that the paint started peeling off the wheels where they clearly have been smart repaired. So they were lacquered in places rather to be diamond cut. I didn't mind that. I, to be honest, didn't realize they were actually done in some places, because they were done quite well, I would say, to a good standard. But yeah, the paint started coming off. So unfortunately, I did not feel like I have to rectify the problem. It's not a big issue. It doesn't look horrible. And yeah, one day I'm going to refurbish my wheels, probably in one color. I already have an idea in my head what look I want to achieve, so I keep it to myself for now, so it's a surprise to you when I finally do it. But yeah, for now I didn't feel the need to do it yet. It's probably about 500-600 quid, which I rather keep in my pocket for now. So yeah, for now The problem still exists, but it doesn't concern me that much. We're back to a bigger issues again. So I've started to hear some kind of vibrating, humming, rumbling noise coming from under the car when I was really on it. So like second, third gear when I was really on it, and I was getting to like 6,000 RPMs, I would say 5 to 6,000 RPMs, I could hear that rumbling like from coming from under the car. So it felt like the prop shaft is literally just vibrating, moving when it's turning. I also started hearing a knocking noise when I was going into reverse, and also when I was in a higher gear. So let's say in a fifth gear, low revs, so I would say 2000 revs, fifth gear. So when I kicked the throttle and the car started pulling, and then I would lift off, I could hear like knock. To me, that was a clear signal that there is something loose underneath the car. The car went into BMW, and what they discovered was that the differential bush in a rear subframe perished because they were made of rubber in the first few years of the M2 run. I believe that at the later stage, I'm not sure when, I think LCI still probably had rubber bushings, but at later stage, they actually switched to polyethylene, yeah, the harder ones. So since then, the problem disappeared. So they fixed that, they changed the bushing, the problem disappeared, and as far as I know, the newer cars were fitted with those bushes to avoid this problem, because otherwise it would reoccur after a couple of years when the rubber would start perishing, get softer, etc. So again, fixed under warranty, no issues there. Happy days. Then we're moving to a bit smaller problem. Someone on the forum mentioned that the cars have tendency to actually rub on the paint when you're opening the door. So the seals would rub on the paint, and when the chassis is moving, it would rub, and over time the gloss or the clear coat would come off from the area where you shut the door. And actually it started doing that at that point. So I fixed it really quickly with a bit of PPF, which I applied to the area, which completely fixed the problem. I know you can buy the ready PPF stickers for that. However, I didn't want to pay like 15 or 18 quid for 2 small pieces of PPF. Rather than that, I bought a whole roll for 60 quid, which will last me forever, and I can use for different areas where I need to. So we're back to the smaller issues now. The car went to BMW. I don't remember what has been done to the car at that point. When I was setting off from BMW, I've heard some weird noises, but I set off and I had no issue for the rest of the trip until I got closer to my street and I slowed down. And suddenly I realized that there is a horrible noise coming from somewhere at the front. And what happened is, while my BMW was in their custody, the TPMS sensor disintegrated. It literally broke inside the wheel. So they handled car back with that issue to me. So I had to go back to them and had, a bit strong conversation with them that, the car came back with this issue. It's not something which developed in my possession. The car was with them, and I know they were testing the car on the road as well. So they agreed to fix that under the warranty as well, which was great. Then another, I guess, what could be a big problem, but for now it's undiagnosed, and it's there from time to time. So one day I came out from my house after washing a car, and I started to hear a weird noise, something like a quiet car alarm, like literally that, honestly. And it was coming from under the bonnet. So I opened the bonnet and I located it on the right hand side of the engine, when you kind of on the passenger side of the engine, let's call it that way. But I couldn't exactly pinpoint where it was coming from. I went to BMW, they couldn't do anything about it. I showed them a video, they were suspecting it was a water pump, but they could not do anything about it until it's doing it while it's there. Unfortunately, it didn't want to, so I lived with this knowledge that something might be wrong, but after a couple of months of not hearing it, I forgot about it. Then suddenly I'm at the Stelvio Pass at the top, surrounded by the flying clouds, filming for you guys, and it's dead quiet over there. There was nobody around, and then I hear this. And I was like, oh my god, not now. Yes, it came back, then it disappeared, and I never heard it again, and that was over a year ago. So hopefully this will never come back and bite me back. If you know what this might be, let me know. However, I'm hoping that this was just one of those quirks. Then we are into a big problem. So I discovered, after starting my car, leaving it on a drive to run and warm up, that I've got this weird knocking noise, and you can hear about it more in one of my recent videos when I told the whole story about it. And how it was diagnosed, or misdiagnosed first, and then diagnosed, and then finally fixed under the warranty. And luckily the problem is gone, and that was an issue with the exhaust camshaft misalignment, something which I guess it's extremely rare in N55, but actually quite known issue in S55 engines. So if you want to hear more about it, please follow the link. I'm gonna leave it in the video description, so you can have a look at it. But yes, luckily the problem was resolved. It was a pretty big one because they had to open the engine and realign everything and retorque it. So yeah, luckily that actually worked well, and that was over a year ago. The problem disappeared, and I'm happy with that. Then this takes me to an overall issue I was experiencing over the 3 years of ownership, and it's rattles and creaks. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this car, I guess, and very stiff chassis, suspension, etc., I do get a lot of rattles, and I recently had one of the rattles from the OBD port area. It came back after over a year of not hearing it, when I dealt with it with a bit of WD-40. Unfortunately, it's back. Maybe it's due to the lower temperatures. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna revisit the problem probably in the spring when it gets a bit warmer. If they are still there, I'm going to try to get rid of those creaks. But yeah, if you're buying this car, I think you have to expect it that it's not gonna be the quietest one. The other minor, I guess, issue which I experienced for some time was the error messages related to the rear lights. So unfortunately, you know, moving on from the pre-LCI lights, which had problems with water getting in, I moved to the LCI lights, not knowing that they have a different issue, which is reoccurring. You are pretty certain that it will happen to your LCI lights at some point, and that's related to apparently to the earth not being strong enough. So basically, when you try to turn on your indicator, you will get an error message that the indicator failed. Luckily, I found a solution to it, which is not permanent. It's only gonna help you for a couple of days, couple of weeks, but it fixes the problem instantly. You just have to whack it. Again, I've got a video on that. Have a look at the comment section. I'm gonna leave the link over there. And recently, one of the lights actually failed because the seal probably perished or something, and the water started getting in, a lot of water. So there was no point of trying to recover it, you know, trying to seal it. It was just too bad. So I decided to buy a new light. I've done that, so it works for now. It fixed the issue with the error messages as well for now. So hopefully I won't get those issues anytime soon. And I guess the last one, which again is quite significant, however, it's not that dangerous to your car overall well-being, let's call it this way, and it's related to the Wastegate rattle. Again, there is a video on my channel on this, so have a look at that. But basically what happens is the little flap from the wastegate in your turbo starts moving, starts rattling. It's slightly like loose, and you can hear it when you drive a car, and when it drops off the revs, when you, for example, changing a gear and you have your windows down, and especially when you're driving along a wall or something and it's quiet around, you can hear like a little jingling almost. I also can hear it when the car is stationary. If you want to hear how it sounds, go ahead to my other video I made on this specific problem. It will tell you more about it. So, as you can see, that was quite a lot of issues over 3 years of ownership. You could say, oh my god, what a lemon. And in fact, my friends in my WhatsApp group were calling this car a lemon for a long time, to the point that even I accepted it and I started calling it a lemon. But to be honest, I still love it. At the moment, I have no massive issues. The car never failed me on the road. It never left me stranded anywhere. All the issues which might be there or were there could be resolved. Luckily, I managed to resolve the main ones under the warranty. Obviously, the wastegate problem is still there because BMW now doesn't fix it because they say it won't break your car. It's just a bit of annoyance. So that problem is still there. The creaking is still there. But apart from that, I mean, I love this car. The emotions it gives me, you know, it's amazing. There is a couple of things I would still want to do to this car to make it even more personalized, even more me. But for now, you know, I'm preparing for my big trip, so I have to be careful with spending because that trip will cost a lot of money. I'm talking about the Arctic Circle. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave the links to all of the videos related to these problems I filmed over those 3 years in the description of the video, so you can quickly click on them and it will take you to the relevant video. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please let me know in the comment sections which of those problems you've experienced in your ownership. I would be interested to hear that if I'm the only one and this really is a lemon, or they all have the problems, they all have similar issues, and this is not something out of order. So thank you for watching, guys. Please remember, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you shortly in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye. Do widzenia.